What's up, guys? Welcome back to the channel. Welcome back to the Bianconeri Zone for a new daily news update, and it's heating up. We have Sancho, real talks now. We have a new target of whom his name I cannot pronounce, but we will get into it. We have Berardi, rumors back on the table, which is never going away, and we have Fagioli signing that new deal, and we have Juntoli speaking about it as well. Let's get straight into it. Before we do that, like the video, subscribe to the channel, hit that bell notification, and let's go. Okay, let's start off with Sancho because I think that's the big news, or like the big news. That's the news that's picking up a bit more of pace. I'm gonna say, not in terms of it's a done deal, whatever, but now you have the English media speaking about it as well, which wasn't really the case the previous few weeks, and now it's from good sources, and they're coming out, kind of confirming and maybe going over the top a bit, or like adding extra news to it. This from Chris Wheeler. I think he works for the Daily Mail. He's a good source, especially for Man U. And he said representatives from Juve, meaning Giuntoli, Manna, I guess, were in the UK last week and are understood to have made contact with United over the possibility of a loan for Sancho in January. It's unlikely Juve will be able to afford a transfer fee for a player who cost United 73 million pounds from Borussia Dortmund and in 2001 and was available for 45 million pounds in the summer. Now, I don't know the conversion rate. I thought it was close to 100 million for Sancho in the summer when they signed him at 90 plus. I have no idea, and I should have done a better job of 40 million pounds is. I have actually no idea. Maybe I should look it up really quickly. Let me do that. Very unprofessional, but let me see. Because I know it's... So it's 50 mil, 51 mil. So it's half, or like it's still a lot of money. It's too much money. Money we are not going to pay. Chris Wheeler said Dortmund are in the race. Dortmund are not going to pay. And even Saudi teams were not willing to pay in the summer. He also added that Sancho is not willing to go to the Saudi league. He wants to stay in Europe. And like I said, that a possibility, or like the only hope for him staying in Man U is the new potential owner, like part. I don't know what that is. Like he will buy part of the club, comes in, and maybe Tanakh leaves. I don't know, and he has a future at the club. Manu wants to sell, but that seems extremely unlikely at this moment in time, especially in January. And the option of Juve is a real thing. Now, I saw things about he's earning 20 million euros a season. Keep in mind, they report gross wages in England. So I think he's about 10 net, something around that. And the club Juve wants Manu to pay part of that wages from now until the end of the season. Now, he's open to a move, was also said. Still, a lot of question marks. Like, it's a real thing now. It's a real, or like, possibility. It's a possibility. But so many question marks about the fee. Like, are you gonna bring him in for 6 months? You need to change your formation. You definitely need to. And what after those 6 months? He said the club Juve wants an option in it potentially, not an obligation, just an option. At what fee are you gonna set that option? Because 50 million euros is too much. Like he's not worth that, and that's because Manu devalued him. They told him you're not training with the first team, you're not even eating with the first team, you're done. Clubs know that. They know that, and they're not going to pay that money, especially European clubs. They're not going to do that. He hasn't played football basically for a year now, had issues, so nobody's going to pay that fee as well. So many question marks with this deal, and potentially even if yes he succeeds, and you know what, you get him for 6 months, and the club is like, we want to buy him. He's on 10 million euros. He needs to, give up a lot of those wages, and maybe he is like, you know what, I need to restart my career and I need to give up a lot of money I probably shouldn't have gotten in the first place, but if somebody offers it to you, you take it. So a lot of question marks, and it remains a very strange one, because I like Sancho. I still think there's a very good player in him. and I don't think the talent just disappears. He's having a bad moment, but I think the talent is still there. Um, However, it seems like a very complicated deal as of now. It really does, and I don't even know how that's going to be possible to do that deal. So let's see. But it's picking up steam. We've actually held talks. It's been confirmed now. Doesn't mean anything. However, when the news first broke, I think everybody was like, "Yeah, well, this is very boring reporting." But however, Romano's speaking, everybody's speaking on it. So let's see if it actually becomes a thing moving forward, basically, because it's an interesting one. It is an interesting one. But let's move on to a new name, and I'm not gonna pronounce the name because I have absolutely no idea how to pronounce it, so I don't want to butcher it. If anyone knows, let me know in the comment. But I have no idea how you pronounce it. So Juve are keeping a close eye on Krasnodar's winger X. The club scouts have observed the Armenian player in recent weeks and plan to watch him again in the near future. That's from Nico Shira. I have never heard of the player. I'm not gonna lie. So I needed to look him up, and I did look him up, and he's not actually a winger. Going off the news that, or like the stats, whatever. He's more of an attacking midfielder. Like, he could potentially play wing, but that's not his MO at all. He's an attacking midfielder by the looks of it. If you just look at the positioning he plays, from what I've found, on the internet, obviously, he's an attacking midfielder. The highest division, so let's say in Russia, on that league, he's almost 0.5 GA per games, because he's played 73 games, and he scored a combined of 45 goals and assists. So that's even better than 0.5. So the output is very good for an attacking midfielder. It is. You might say it's the Russian league and whatever. I'm not one of those people. Like, I don't like, whatever. If you're good, you're good. But I've not seen him, so I cannot say that. I just going off the stats. But what I do like is that we're looking at these type of players, unknown, quote unquote, potentially not with an extreme high price. Everybody's talking about Boniface. You could have picked him up for a steal, playing in the Belgian league, and it was obvious that he was a very good player, and nobody really took a shot on it. And now, if you want Boniface, you're paying 60 mil or something like that, and if it's a Premier League team, even more. So I like that we're trying to look in a different direction, which we should be doing. It doesn't need to be high profile always. Like, you can add high profile names if you can, and that's good. But it's also good to, take a shot and try something different and try to go a different route, because we haven't done that. And I think that's part of why we were in this mess at this moment in time, financially and all the jizz. But he's not a winger by the looks of it. It's more like an attacking midfielder. If anybody knows him, if anybody has watched him, let me know in the comments. But since Juntali joined, we've seen more of these names popping up. Names who are like, I'm not sure, never heard of it, and I don't know him, need to look him up, whatever, or know who he is, but haven't watched much of him. And I think it's a good thing. Because lately it got so predictable and it got so annoying to a certain point where you're like, we're not getting these players, and why are you just focusing on that one target when there are probably 10, 20 more targets of the same level or the same characteristics. So that's a good thing, I guess. Let's move on to a name that's it's never going to go away. It's Domenico Berardi. It's from La Stampa, saying that Juve can make a new attempt in January, probably in the summer, who knows. Just stop it. Stop it. Like I said, move on from targets. Like, it's been years now. Come on. Like, he's pushing 30. Yes, he will get the numbers, but like, move on to different targets. You don't need to pay 30 plus mil for Domenico Berardi when potentially you can find another player who could do the same thing for a lesser fee, or like just something fresh. Not a player that refused to join in his prime, or like in his prime, not in his prime, but like early on, and now he's desperate for a move, and now he's pushing it, but Juntoli. But Sassuolo are trying to bully you. Like, we don't need to go that route again. Like, it's over. It's a bit like the Savic links and the Pogba links. Like, it gets extremely boring. And this one is getting extremely boring. Just get it over with, move it on, and move on to different targets, because like the summer one was terrible. You know what Carnevali had to say afterwards. It was a soap. Like, it was a soap opera. So it's a no for me for Berardi. Will he help if he joins? Yes, but like, I'm just looking long term, and I'm like, go a different route for once. But that's that. And then we end it with Fagioli. He signed a new deal. No shock here. I think we knew that was in the pipeline for weeks. Now it's official. Giuntoli said, well, everybody knew. They're supporting him. They believe in him because he has great, talent basically, and the club is convinced he will, take this time to heal. The club also said he can train with the team, whatever, just feel at home, feel like it's quote unquote normal, so he can step back in and help out the team. And Junta said we believe he will help out the team. Some might find it strange, that he's been suspended and you get a double wage increase. It is strange for the normal person, like the average person. It is, but maybe potentially the club took advantage of it. And considering the situation, they're like, okay, long-term deal. This is the wage, and yeah, you can probably not say no in this situation. So I didn't say sell Fagioli, so it's good that he stays, I guess. We're not going to see him for months. I'm not sure in what capacity he will return in terms of fitness. You can train with the team for weeks and months, but, match fitness is something completely different. So that's something we need to discuss when he's back, and he could be potentially back for the last game of the season, but let's say next season. So let's see. But that's the daily news update. Let me know in the comments, Sancho, the Krasnodar player, which I cannot pronounce, Berardi back, but let me know what you think. Let me know what we need, because we've been linked with very different profiles on the right wing, in midfield, that it's very confusing at this moment in time. But what do you think we need? And do you actually believe Allegri could potentially change formation? Because that's also a thing you potentially need to keep an eye on. That's it for me. Like the video, subscribe. I will be live today, potentially with a new show, or like a new show. You can call in and have your say. Hopefully I'll get that up and running tonight. So stay tuned for that. Thanks for watching. Ciao.